Hi, I am going to, in this video, show the DIY making of a stand for my alcohol stove. I've made a lot of different alcohol stoves, learned how to do all of them on YouTube. The one that I used the most and found to be, well, I guess I'll just say it was my favorite one, is the Fancy Feast cat food can with the V8 inside and the carbon felt around. This one is just a fast blooming, efficient stove. I really like it. But one of the things that I found about it was that the flame, although I really like the stability of it, the flame was a little bit too big. The circumference of the flame was a little bit too big for my pot, which is a Toaks 650. And so what I wanted was to have one that was a smaller circumference so that the flame was hitting the bottom of the pot more. I just thought that was going to be more efficient. Turns out I was right. And I never thought I would buy an alcohol stove, but I did. I bought this one from, what is it, Dutch Gear? I forget now, which is kind of sad because I've purchased fabric from them before. I'll put a link on it for it. But this is the stove I bought from them, 15 bucks, real nice. I've added a carbon felt sleeve to it just to accelerate the bloom. But what I find is that when I put my pot on it, you can kind of see it's pretty risky, you know. And this is a pressure stove, so a pressurized stove, so you really actually have to set it on there. And then this bottom, yeah, it's really fine if you're gonna have a picnic table or something, but if you're just out in the woods, which is typical for me, it doesn't seem very stable. So what I want to do today is take some 1/16 inch aluminum and make a pot stand as light as possible, but the goal is to make something that's stable, that I can, you know, I've just used this out in the garage doing some testing with it, so I haven't taken it out on a trip yet, but that's coming up. But, you know, I feel a little concerned about the size of it and setting it down on the ground, you know, which is uneven rocks, roots, leaves, whatever, and just seeing, you know, my 2 cups of water tip over. Just don't want to see that happening. So I want to build a little stand to see if I can make it secure. So that's what I'll be doing today. So 2 of the design constraints are going to be, one is going to be a pretty close fit to the stove, just for, you know, increased stability. Kind of think about that moment when, you know, you've been waiting several minutes for your water to boil, and it starts to boil, and then that causes the pot to kind of wobble around a little bit. You get some motion. I can just imagine a situation where that's enough to tip it over. So the bottom diameter is 1 3/4 inches. So I want to make a stand that holds that 1 3/4. And another important constraint for me is that the base has got to be able to fit inside of my pot. So it looks like the depth of the pot is kind of weird how this thing is marked. 1.5, 3.5. So just 3.5 inches. So I'll make a design in paper just to do a mock-up to test that. So I've made a little paper template and I'm about to transfer that onto the aluminum and cut that. All right, so here's the rough cut. A lot of filing to do, and probably I will take a little material out of each side here, on each side of this cut, possibly drill some holes. But on the rough cut, the basic idea is for this to fit together like so. So, you know, it's a little more work to do here to make it as light as possible, but I think it is going to provide way more stability than what I would have without it. Of course, when I finish, I'll do a final weight on the stand to see what it adds. Okay, well, here's the finished product. It comes in at 9 grams and feels like it's gonna add the stability that I'm looking for, and it fits pretty easily into the pot. So next, we field test it. I think that's a little ways off. It's a couple days before Christmas, so it'll be probably a week or two before I can get out for an overnighter.